The city was strategically located along trade routes that connected the Ashanti Empire's gold mines with coastal ports and other trading regions. As a result, it facilitated the lucrative trade of gold, kola nuts, ivory, and other valuable commodities. 3. Architectural marvels. Kumasi was renowned for its architectural and urban planning achievements. The city was home to impressive structures, including the Manhaya Palace, which served as the official residence of the Asantehene. The city's layout and architecture reflected the hierarchical and organized nature of the Ashanti society. It featured distinctive buildings adorned with intricate carvings and symbols. 4. Seat of political power. As the capital, Kumasi was the seat of political power in the Ashanti Empire. It housed the central administration and government institutions. The city was where important decisions were made, and it symbolized the authority of the Ashanti king and the unity of the Ashanti Confederation. 5. Preservation of Ashanti traditions. Kumasi played a crucial role in preserving and promoting Ashanti traditions, language, and cultural heritage. It served as a place where the oral history of the Ashanti people was passed down through generations. The city was a repository of Ashanti wisdom, where storytelling, drumming, and oral traditions thrived. 6. Symbol of unity and resistance. Kumasi symbolized the unity of the Ashanti people and their resistance to external influences. It was at the heart of the Ashanti Empire's defiance against European colonial powers. During the colonial era, Kumasi became a focal point of Ashanti resistance against British rule, showcasing the city's historical and cultural significance. Kumasi, with its blend of cultural vibrancy, economic importance, political power, and architectural marvels, stands as a testament to the glory of the Ashanti Empire. It continues to be a place of pride and cultural significance in modern-day Ghana, celebrated for its rich history and enduring legacy. Colonial encounters. The arrival of European colonial powers in the 19th century marked a challenging period in Ashanti history. Colonial confrontation. The conflicts and wars between the Ashanti Empire and British forces, particularly the Anglo-Ashanti Wars, were a series of confrontations and military campaigns that occurred during the 19th century. These conflicts arose due to competing interests, including the Ashanti's desire to maintain their sovereignty and the British aim to expand their influence in the Gold Coast, now Ghana. Here is an overview of the notable Anglo-Ashanti Wars. 1. First Anglo-Ashanti War, 1823 to 1831. The First Anglo-Ashanti War began as a result of tensions between the Ashanti Empire and the British, who were seeking to expand their control in the Gold Coast. The Ashanti forces, led by King Osei Bonsu, initially clashed with British troops under Sir Charles McCarthy. The British forces suffered a significant defeat, leading to the signing of the Treaty of Famina in 1831, which recognized Ashanti control over certain territories. However, this treaty was short-lived, as both sides continued to harbor suspicions and conflicting interests. 2. Second Anglo-Ashanti War, 1863 to 1864. The Second Anglo-Ashanti War was primarily instigated by the Ashanti Empire's expansion into the British-protected territories of the Gold Coast. British forces, under Governor Sir George Grey, launched an expedition to Kumasi, the Ashanti capital. After some initial successes, the British encountered fierce resistance from Ashanti forces. The war concluded with the signing of the Treaty of Amoaful in 1864, which recognized British control over certain areas but allowed the Ashanti Empire to maintain its sovereignty. 3. Third Anglo-Ashanti War, 1873 to 1874. The Third Anglo-Ashanti War was a culmination of mounting tensions and mutual mistrust. The Ashanti Empire had sought to regain control over territories ceded in the previous treaties. The war began when Ashanti forces, led by King Kofi Karakari, invaded British-protected territories. British forces, commanded by Sir Garnet Wolseley, launched a counter-offensive. The British forces captured Kumasi in February 1874, and King Prempeh I was exiled. The war ended with the Ashanti signing the Treaty of Famina, which established British control over Ashanti and placed the Ashanti Kingdom under a British protectorate. Fourth Anglo-Ashanti War, 1895 to 1896. The Fourth Anglo-Ashanti War was a result of Ashanti opposition to British colonial rule. Ashanti leaders, including Ya Asantewa, led resistance against the British. The war ended with the capture of Kumasi by British forces led by Sir Francis Scott, resulting in the exile of the Ashanti king, Prempeh and his advisors. The Ashanti Empire was formally annexed into the British Gold Coast colony, marking the end of Ashanti sovereignty. These Anglo-Ashanti wars, marked by both military engagements and diplomatic negotiations, had a profound impact on the Ashanti Empire and its relationship with the British. Ultimately, the Ashanti Empire was absorbed into the British Gold Coast colony, although Ashanti culture and traditions continued to play a significant role in the region. The wars also had a lasting influence on the Ashanti people's collective memory and their struggles for independence in the future. The eventual colonization of the Ashanti Kingdom and its incorporation into the Gold Coast, now Ghana, was a complex process that unfolded over several decades. It was driven by a combination of factors, including British imperial ambitions, economic interests, and tensions between the Ashanti Empire and the British. Here's an explanation of how this colonization and incorporation transpired. 1. British imperial ambitions. During the 19th century, the British Empire, along with other European powers, sought to expand its influence and territories in Africa. The Gold Coast was of particular interest to the British due to its valuable resources, including gold, timber, and agricultural products, as well as its strategic location for trade. 2. Conflicting interests and previous conflicts. The Ashanti Empire and the British had experienced conflicts and tensions, including the Anglo-Ashanti Wars in the 19th century. These wars had resulted in treaties that recognized British influence and control over certain territories in the Gold Coast. The Ashanti Empire sought to regain its lost territories, which led to further hostilities and confrontations with the British. 3. Colonial conquests. In the late 19th century and early 20th century, the British launched a series of military campaigns in the Gold Coast to establish colonial control and suppress Ashanti resistance. The Fourth Anglo-Ashanti War, 1895 to 1896, marked a significant turning point. British forces captured Kumasi, the Ashanti capital, and exiled King Prempeh, effectively dismantling the Ashanti kingdom's sovereignty. 4. Treaty of Fomena, 1900, and final incorporation. The Treaty of Fomena, signed in 1900, formally established British control over the Ashanti Kingdom. Under the terms of the treaty, the Ashanti king, Prempeh, was allowed to return, but the Ashanti Empire became a British protectorate. The Ashanti Empire was administratively incorporated into the British Gold Coast colony, consolidating British control over the entire region. 5. Ashanti participation in the colonial administration. While the Ashanti Empire lost its political sovereignty, the British colonial administration incorporated aspects of Ashanti traditional governance into the colonial system. Ashanti chiefs, known as Omanhene, were recognized as local authorities and had some role in the indirect rule system. This approach allowed the British to govern with the cooperation of local leadership. The Ashanti people, like many other ethnic groups in the Gold Coast, experienced profound changes as a result of colonization. Traditional institutions and power structures were altered, and the British imposed their own administrative and legal systems. The Ashanti Kingdom's cultural and political legacy, however, continued to play a significant role in the Gold Coast, which eventually gained independence and became the nation of Ghana in 1957. The Ashanti culture, with its festivals, traditions, and historical significance, remains an integral part of the modern Ghanaian identity, post-independence Ashanti. The Ashanti people played an active and influential role in Ghana's struggle for independence and have continued to contribute significantly to the nation's development. Their involvement in the fight for freedom, as well as their contributions to the country's progress, highlights their resilience and commitment to a united and prosperous Ghana. Here's a discussion of the Ashanti people's role in Ghana's history. 1. Role in the independence movement. The Ashanti people, like other ethnic groups in Ghana, were actively involved in the struggle for independence from British colonial rule. They participated in various political and social movements aimed at achieving self-determination. 2. Key figures in the independence movement. Several prominent Ashanti leaders played vital roles in the fight for independence. Notably, Kwame Nkrumah, who was Ghana's first prime minister and later its first president, was a key figure in the independence movement. He was originally from the Nzima region, but had strong ties to Kumasi and the Ashanti kingdom. Nkrumah's leadership and advocacy were instrumental in the quest for independence. 3. Contributions to post-independence Ghana. After Ghana gained independence in 1957, the Ashanti people continued to contribute to the nation's development in various ways.